I'm Weaponeer, and it's about time to get back to our FrontLine holster reviews. I already did a couple of the holster reviews, and now we're back with the BFL Kydex holster with the SR lock. Now, like my other holster reviews, I make sure I do a review on a 1911 holster. They make the same holster for other models of pistols, but if I go ahead and take like a Sig Sauer or something else, you can be paying more attention to the pistol than you are the holster. By doing the 1911, you're able to go ahead and say, okay, that's a 1911, because everybody's seen a 1911. So you see the 1911, and you get the idea how the holster works, and you're not paying attention to the pistol. You're paying attention to the holster, and that's what the video is about, the holster. Now, the holster is this one right here. As you can see, this is a standard looking holster. This is of the duty style because it does have the lock. The lock is designed for your middle finger. Your index finger or your trigger finger sits right next to it, and when you press the button with your middle finger and you draw it out, your trigger finger will end up on the trigger guard, and that's exactly where it should be. You should not ever put your finger on the trigger as you're drawing the weapon. It's a really good way to go ahead and put a nice sized hole in you. And if you're drawing the weapon, you probably want to go ahead and shoot something off that direction rather than this direction. So always make sure you have your index finger on the trigger guard and not the trigger. And for the safety sallies out there, this right here is unloaded, no magazine. Don't have to worry about it at all. And which is the way I go ahead and I do my reviews. This right here is an easy pistol to place in. It locks easily. You don't have to do anything to get it to lock. It's automatically locked in there. It's not going to come out. So it's still simple. You press the button and you can draw it right out. It's a quick draw, but it's not as quick as a holster with like a tension system on it rather than a lock, which was the other videos I did on some of the FrontLine holsters. So let's take the pistol and put it away. This right here is a simple holster to remove. You don't have to take your belt off to put the holster on or to take it off. It's just one snap. You just unsnap the snap. That easy. And then you just kind of lift it up and pull it off, hopefully. It does fit snugly around the belt because it has this little area here. Well, it has these little spacers. As you can see, this large spacer. It has the smaller spacer installed. Easy to put on. I mean, it just pushes in. And basically, you take the spacer out, and without any spacer in there, this is a really good holster for like a GI pistol belt or any other belt that's really large, really wide. You go place the thin one in there, or just leave it as it comes from the factory. And this holster is designed for your standard with a belt, whether it be like an operator's belt like I'm wearing, or whether it be any kind of regular belt. Or you can take the one out and place the thick one on there, and that'll make this area in here narrower. Designed for a narrower belt. So a dress belt is typically a narrow belt. So you can take this and use it with a dress belt. No matter what kind of belt you have, it's going to work with it. And that's one of the reasons why I really like this type of holster. Now, unlike a lot of the other holsters, all the other ones that I've been reviewing have been tension, and you a couple screws in there, you tighten them up till you get to the tension you like, and it's retained through tension only. This one right here has the actual lock. It's a simple lock. What it does is it basically has a little lever, and that lever comes around to the trigger guard, and it doesn't allow the pistol to be withdrawn from the holster without having pressed that button, which moves that little hook out of the way and allows you to draw the pistol. Because of that, because this doesn't have a retention system in it, there will be a little rattle. Now this right here is a 1911, but this is a Spanish Model B, and this right here is actually a 9mm, and this was made in 1945. Now, this is an exact replica of a rat grade 1911, and the only deal is some of the 1911s these days have a thicker slide, and the slide will be slightly thicker here. Now, this one right here has a fairly thin slide for 1911, and because of that, when I stick it in here and just hold on to the holster, it'll have a little bit of a rattle to it. Now, you can hear that, and the reason is because, you know, 1911s, they may all be 1911s, but they're not all equal. Some of them will be thicker, some of them will be thinner. Some of them will have muzzle brakes on them, some of them will not. Some will have different types of sights, some of them will have just standard sights. You just never know what it's going to be. Because of that, it has to be a little wider on the bottom. Now, I'll tell you exactly how you go ahead and get this thing to be silent. Now, what you do, go to, you know, any hardware store or Walmart, and you pick up some felt, the sticky type felt, you know, the sticky back felt, I should say. And what you do is you take some felt and you take a strip of it, and you put it on the inside here and the inside on the top, and then probably here and here, not where the lock is. And the reason I say that is you go ahead and you put the felt in there, it's going to do two things. Number one, it's going to close up that gap. The felt's going to go ahead and make it so it doesn't make any noise. And the other thing it does is you're going to have your pistol rubbing against felt in a holster. Which would you rather have? A pistol rubbing against Kydex and taking the finish off your nice beautiful pistol? Or would you rather have it being protected by felt? You know, felt is a better idea. So go ahead and buy a little strip of felt and stick it in there, and you won't have any problem with it whatsoever, and it's going to go ahead and make it nice and tight and not rattle on you. A really good idea. Like I said, this is really easy to place on your hip, whether you have a thin belt or a wide belt. It also does have little teeth on here, so it will grab onto whichever belt you have, and because of that, the holster will not slide very easily back and forth. Pretty much stays where you put it. I've had no problems at all with this holster. This has been a really nice holster. Everything I've expected of FrontLine has basically been true with this one right here. Really high quality, really good price. It's been outstanding. Now, once again, the model number for this holster, this is a like this one right here is for a Colt 1911, so its model number is going to be different, but if you look up the model number, you're going to get really close. You're going to find this style, and just look up for a different model for your pistol. So the model number for this one right here is Kilo, that's K14 Sierra Romeo SR. The K is basically Kydex. So this is probably the Kydex model number 14 with the SR lock. And there you go. FrontLine, they're one of the leading manufacturers for holsters in Israel, and they really make heavy-duty, battle-tested holsters. Fantastic designs. Each one of these that I've been reviewing, each one is slightly different in each way. I love each one for their specific applications. That's why I got so many holsters, because each one is designed for a specific task. This one here is a great duty or holster for hunting or something like that, where you just want to go to the range or something like that. Some of the other ones are designed for concealed carry, so it depends on what your application is. If you don't need the lock, you can go with some of the other models. So that's why I'm reviewing a large number of these FrontLine holsters. They're very much worthwhile, and which is why I'm using them. Very heavy duty. It's not going to fall apart if somebody grabs the holster and pulls down. It's not going to go ahead and break apart. This is far more heavy duty than you can imagine. One of the deals is because of this little snap here, it takes up some of the forces, the side-to-side forces and stuff like that, from right here on the holster, rather than everything being right here. So it's not like it's just pop riveted on there or glued together, and so you can just tear it off. This has got a much better retention system for the belt. And like I said, you don't have to remove your belt to go ahead and put this on. I really can't say too much more about it. It's been a really fantastic holster. I really like it. The design is fine. I really do suggest that if you are interested in the lock style, and with the finger lock style, I should say. Now this right here, and I do like the finger locks. I think that's a really nice, cool setup where it's designed mainly so someone can't grab your pistol from behind and say, aha! This way, it has that added safety. Now you press that before you pull it out and retains it, nice and safe, so you don't have to worry. A little peace of mind. So if you have any comments or questions about this holster, feel free to post it below. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to rate my videos. I'm Weaponeer, and I'll catch you in the next one.